Hey folks, welcome back to the channel. I got a little project today I wanted to whip through. I recently bought a boat, a very old used boat, and it come with this little drink caddy that was on deck. Well, it's December right now in Illinois, so I can't do any boating. So I thought I'd take the opportunity to update this thing right here so I could have maybe some drink holders, a place to put my phone, a place to put my little handheld radio. I'm sure this is probably teak, but it's on deck. Doesn't really need to be teak. I've got some oak laying around. It took some time to draw out a little plan on my Shaper Labs design software so I can use my Shaper Origin to CNC this out and make it look a little better than this did. I don't know if somebody made this or if this was a factory piece or somebody tried to make it bigger for their bigger cups. Anyway, I'm going to try to improve on it a little bit today and see what we can come up with. So I rounded up a couple pieces of 3/4 inch oak that I had already glued up for some other project that I guess I've long since forgot about. I've got her fastened down here on my Craig portable workbench. Got some Shaper tape laid out, and we'll get the Shaper out and get a pattern loaded up and we'll look at it again. So I've got the boat caddy design loaded up here in the Shaper. We're going to place two of them because we're going to cut the bottom and the top. So let's locate where we want it. Place one right there. Go back. Import it again. Doesn't like my cold fingers. Put another one right there. Then go around here, make sure everything looks kosher. I'm not real sure if I got a 1/4 inch in between there or not. I'm gonna be close. Might have to go back and cut that out with an 1/8 inch. All right, and we're all ready to cut. So as you can see, I pocketed out this little hole right here to a depth of a 1/4 inch. I'm going to do all my holes on this bottom piece to a depth of a 1/4 inch, and then the top piece will be through holes. But just so you know how this Shaper works, I'm going to do this next hole and let you watch. And voila, you've got a little indented hole. Of course, now I realize that that was my top piece, so I'm going to go back now and go all the way through it. Alright, just so you can see now the difference. Here's one of my bottom pieces where I'm going to a depth of 1/4 inch, and then here's going to be a top piece where it's going to cut all the way through. So I went to this wood was probably a little less than 1/4 inch. I went to a depth of 0.745 and still probably got into my workbench a little bit, but no big deal. That's what I use it for. So I'm going to go ahead and finish cutting all the rest of these out, and then I'll come back. All right, got everything all cut out, but using the shaper, since I had those two pieces of wood side by side with each other, I could not cut all the way through because they would have slipped. So I cut all the way through wherever I could, left enough wood behind for the clamps to hold pressure. So now I will probably take it over to the bandsaw and clean up the edges, get the sander out and sand all that smooth, and just generally clean it all up. And then I'm going to be cutting 4 1/2-inch dowel rods, about 3.5 inches long each. And they will be going on all 4 corners there to hold it up to the proper height. And we'll get some video of that. So after a little bit of creative assembly technique, i.e. a wooden mallet, I've got this assembled to this point. Thought it'd be a good time to talk to you about some issues that I encountered and that I'm going to tell you so you don't do the same thing. And they were all design issues pretty much. First of all, I designed this in the Shaper Labs program. So I'm assuming that you might do something similar in your own CNC program. I knew I was going to use 1/2-inch dowels, and when I drew the plan up, I drew 1/2-inch holes. Well, we all know in reality that wood swells, goes back and forth. So if you're going to draw this up, these holes should probably be 505 or 510 thousandths diameter. Still gives you plenty of room for glue to make things work. I have no doubt that if this was not oak, that this probably would have split all to who knows what. But since it's oak and it's so tough, it hung in there. The other issue is I drew these holes a little too close to the outer edge. Should have brought them in probably another 1/8 of an inch. That would also strengthen up these ends and alleviate any issues there. This was all just made for some items that I have. The drinks, this bottom hole is 3 inches diameter on the inside. Up here, it was a 3-inch diameter hole, but I CNC'd on the line with a 1/4 inch router bit. So this is actually a 3 1/4 inch hole because it's an 1/8 inch bigger on either side. So that'll let you stick some of these bigger styrofoam cups in there. This here hole was just for a flashlight. This one here is going to be for my cell phone, and this one here holds my ICOM 2-way radio. So maybe going to do a tad bit more sanding and whip out my favorite gunstock colored stain and make this look a little bit nicer. And we'll see how that looks. So there it is, folks. Nice coat of stain on it. You can see that it's real similar to the old original one, but obviously new, improved, and better. Probably when it gets a little warmer out, I'll put a coat of clear poly on it, and it'll be ready to go on the boat. Hope you enjoyed this little short video. We'll see you again next time.